I'm Lady Charmaine, and my guest today lost an astounding 185 pounds in 9 months after competing on NBC Season 2, The Biggest Loser. His tremendous weight loss allowed him to be the Biggest Loser $100,000 at-home prize winner. And he's now an author and full-time motivational speaker. And he's here today to talk about his new book entitled Lose It Fast, Lose It Forever, a 4-step permanent weight loss plan from the most successful Biggest Loser of all time. Help me welcome Mr. Pete Thomas to the show. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for having me. I'm blessed to be here and share with your listeners today.
Well, you know, I saw you when you were on Season 2, and it's amazing to see your transformation and what happened in just 9 months. Now, I got to say, you lost a whole person, 185 pounds. Basically, you lost me, Pete, because that's my size.
I like that. Well, as I like to say, I lost the Olsen twins.
No, you lost the Lady Charmaine. That's what you lost.
Lady Charmaine. Exactly right. Well, you know, it was a great opportunity to lose the extra weight. And it's been even a greater blessing to be able to take the lessons that I've learned over the last 6 or 7 years and share it with folks so that they can as well lay aside any weight that does so easily beset us from achieving our life's purpose. And so that's my goal, to do that today and through the book.
And you lost, first off, your starting weight was 401 pounds. That's amazing when you were a Biggest Loser contestant. Now, we know a lot of people put back on the pounds, but you've managed to keep your pounds off. How did you do that?
You know, yeah, you're absolutely right. And at my largest, I was over 416. And the root of that, the issues, and that's really important to keep my weight off, is to identify the root cause of the weight gain. For me, it started when I was young. My mother struggled with paranoia, dementia, and this mental illness meant that we were on the go from one city to another to another. There were times of homelessness. So when food was available, I'd eat 2 or 3 times the amount of food that I needed. And those behaviors or that habit carried over into adulthood. And so what I was able to do was I tried different things throughout my life to lose weight. I knew that my destiny or purpose in life, it required my health to come in line. And I tried different things, and nothing quite worked until I managed to make it onto The Biggest Loser. I lost 83 pounds in 62 days there on the show. I was 102 pounds at home. And then once the show was over, I set a goal. I said, once the cameras are off, I'm going to keep the weight off. And to do that, to answer your question, to do that, I had to set about learning about the psychology of change. I had to learn nutrition. I had to really learn a new way of eating that would fit me in any environment. And that's what I share with the readers of the book. I had to learn about effective exercise. And I had to learn it in a personalized way that would allow me to do it in any situation. You know, so many times we try these programs and we'll try to drink this shake or put this thing on or that thing on, and it works either in a short-term fashion or it works for somebody else, but it won't work for us. And so what I've put together is a personalized program that works for anybody. Anybody can personalize this program and make it work for them.
Now, I want to know, when did you realize that you needed help, that you were overweight, and something in your mind clicked and said, I need to apply for The Biggest Loser because I can't do it by myself? When did you first realize that you were overweight?
You know, I realized that, I kind of say, at many points in my life, I can remember I was about 26 years old, and I'm in my men's group at the church, and I said to myself, or I think I may have even said it out loud, I said, you know, I realized if I'm this weight when I'm 30, I've really got to do something. And sure enough, a few years passed, and there I was 30 years old, and still was struggling with my weight. The problem was, I didn't know exactly what to do to get it off. You know, and then when I said I didn't know exactly what to do, I tried this program and that program. I tried counting points. I tried some shake plan. I tried, different things to try to lose weight. And like most people do, I lost weight, but I was unable to keep it on until, as you mentioned, I had a chance to go to Biggest Loser. Now, I do believe that the secret sauce, the secret of the Biggest Loser, what makes it so unique and special, is that you're in a team environment. So as I like to say, there's a bunch of us fatties together. We're sweating and working out, and we're pushing each other, and that is one of the essential components for not only success in weight loss, but success in life. It's having a great team around you. You know, the Bible says that 2 are better than 1, for they have a good report, or a good reward for their work, and when one falls, the other picks them up. So that taught me in that environment, because I've never played sports coming up, that taught me in that environment that if I'm going to be successful, I have to have a team around me. It's so very important to do that. And I was able to take that to the next level and then learn to be successful on my
Now, have you been watching the new season of The Biggest Loser?
No, it's interesting. I haven't had a chance to. I'm going to catch up here on Hulu over the next couple of days. But the interesting thing is, because I have a relationship with the show, they've had me actually to call into the contestants who were voted off and give them words of encouragement. So I'm still connected with the show that way. Also, we have a closed Facebook group where all the former contestants, we call ourselves the alumni. We get a chance to chat with each other. But haven't had a chance to watch this season thus far. But I can relate so much to everything that they go through.
Now, Jillian helped to write the foreword to your book. Now, this season, she is killing those poor contestants, dropping like flies. Was she real difficult to work with on the show? Because I'm telling you, this season, she came back with a vengeance.
Yes, she is, and she is known for tough love. As you mentioned, she did write the foreword. She was great to work with. I like to say that she really is an angel in real life that puts you through hell when you're in the gym. I mean, she is no nonsense. And the reason being is it's about business when you're in the gym. This is the work environment. We don't chit chat, and we don't take it lightly. And the interesting thing here is you have to remember that this is an elimination type show, and so she only has so many days to work with a person. And a person like me, who had over 416 pounds, arrived there, on the Biggest Loser ranch at 401, you have to look at me and recognize I have more than just a little weight problem. I have an addiction to food. Mm-hmm. And she has to get through, a trainer has to get through to the client that something has got to change, and you've got to make the change permanently. There were a couple of people that were just voted off this week alone, and they're going to go back in their home environment. And if she hasn't gotten through to them to make them realize, okay, I must continue this on my own at home, well, then an opportunity has been lost. So it's necessary to have that tough love, that drill sergeant type love, and she is just known for dishing it out. But it's out of an attitude of love, really a heart of love, to see people change.
Okay. We're going to talk about your book in just a moment, but I want you to take us through a day in the life of a Biggest Loser contestant when you're on that ranch. There's a lot that we do not see, how long you're actually in the gym. So can you kind of give us kind of insight on what we don't see as viewers, but what you all experience? Because it looks like, okay, I'm sure your days are long, but we really don't know. Like, when do you guys eat? What do you eat? Can you kind of tell us a little bit?
Absolutely. And I share my exact menu and grocery list in the book. But it's interesting that you mentioned you don't see a lot. And that's true, because there's about 168 hours worth of footage that's taken every single week, and that gets cut down to a 1-hour show. And so a lot ends up on the editing room floor. What I like to say is the show is really about the most boring thing possible. It's about fat people sweating. No one would ever want to watch that show. We wouldn't. But, of course, you take us and you take type A personalities, and we just happen to, the sparks will fly when you put us together. And so an average day on the show, we'd wake up first thing in the morning and either eat breakfast. Some of us would eat breakfast and some of us wouldn't. And then we'd immediately work out for an hour by ourselves. Then after that workout, you're working out for an hour at a high intensity, either on the treadmill, walking on the treadmill, or you're on the elliptical machine. You're exhausted, so you try to get some breakfast if you didn't eat before working out. And then you try to grab some rest. And then you're up from rest and you have to do some filming. And then there's 2-hour workout in the middle of the afternoon with Jillian. And, of course, that's a lot more intense than it was first thing in the morning with you and your other teammates. Mm-hmm. And then there's more filming and eating and recovery afternoon and another intense hour at night. And so for my season, it was about 4 hours a day of intense workouts. And then after that, the following seasons, they work out even longer. So it's really, it can be drudgery, but it accomplishes its goal. You do some amazing things. And then, of course, the eating, as you mentioned. The key to the eating for us was basically we ate better quality or leaner portions of the food that we were used to eating. For instance, it even carries over into my regular life now. Before, at my largest, and I explain these things in the book, I was over 416 pounds, and I used to eat for breakfast 9 slices of bacon, 4 eggs, and 16 ounces of orange juice. And here's one of the unique principles that I teach in the book. It's called modification, not starvation. I learned really a peak of this on the ranch, but I was able to apply it at home. Now, instead of having 9 slices of regular bacon, I have 9 slices of turkey bacon. Instead of 4 servings of eggs, 4 servings of egg beaters. Instead of 16 ounces of orange juice, I have 16 ounces of Crystal Light. Now, the unique thing is that the calories have gone from over 1,000, over 1,100 calories, all the way down to about 300 and something calories. However, what makes it really special is I am never hungry. And most of the time, when people go on these, quote, diets, they cut out entire food groups, or they try to control their portion size, and they just feel hungry and hungry and hungry until finally they binge and just go back to their old habits. And so I'm able to eat and maintain a sense of satisfaction and hunger while lowering the calories. And so it's really a great method that I teach to everyone.
Now, a man of your size, you were 401 pounds. When you lose that much weight, does your skin stretch? Do you have to have skin removed, so you can see your muscles in your six pack? What happens to all that skin? Does it automatically just shrink up?
Well, for some people it does. For some people it doesn't. It's a combination of things. Number one, it depends on how you lose the weight. People that tend to lose the weight through all cardiovascular exercise, they tend to have a lot more loose skin. The way that we lost the weight was we did a combination of resistance training and cardiovascular. I teach that as well, show people how to do that and mimic that in the book. And when you do that, what happens is you simply put muscle back in the area where fat was previously. And so you can have some definition. But really, whether or not you'll need skin surgery comes down to a couple things: genetics, how much water you used to drink, the elasticity of the skin. All of those things play a role. And ultimately, each and every one of us who've lost a different amount of weight, our results vary. I still have some loose skin in the upper chest area, the inner thigh area. But like I like to say, I'm just a male model for Spanx.
No, that's right. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just put on some Lycra or some Spanx, and we just keep moving.
I know that's right. And you're looking good in your clothes. That's fantastic. And you're now a full-time motivational speaker. You're out there. You're encouraging people and motivating people. What line of work were you in before you became a motivational speaker?
I was you could almost say I was a serial entrepreneur. Right before going on the Biggest Loser Ranch, I did real estate investment. And that allowed me to have the financial stability to be able to go off onto the show.
Okay.
And then before that, I did IT programming and had my own computer consulting firm. So I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. And now, as you mentioned, I have the great opportunity to travel across the country and not only motivate employees of companies, but to educate employees on how to lose weight, how to keep it off successfully long term. That's really my goal, and we've been blessed by that. I got a couple of different sponsorships with companies, and I'm a spokesperson for a couple of different companies, but my main thing now is I'm spreading this message of wellness as far and wide as I can.
Yeah, you're pretty smart. And speaking of spreading the message of wellness, you received the 2013 Michigan Governor's Council of Physical Fitness Award recipient for conquering obesity. What does that mean to you, knowing that you inspired so many people and then they recognized you in this way?
It was an amazing honor. And interestingly enough, once I lost the weight, I can remember back in January 2006, I wrote down, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to keep the weight off when the cameras are off. And I want to be on the council, the Governor's Council for Physical Fitness. I just wrote that down as one of my goals. Never petitioned for it, never even looked at how the council worked. All I knew is that this council existed. And I said, one day someone's going to recognize that I'm a success, and I'm sharing that message with others. And lo and behold, in 2012, someone nominated me, and I was able to, and I received that award. So it's really a great award. And it's just representative of the fact that not only have I lost weight, but I've been able to share the message and teaching with others, and that's been even more of a satisfaction than just keeping it off myself.
And so you did what we do, of course, as Christians, because we believe in the word and we know that our words have power. And when you spoke that, you spoke it into existence, because the Bible says we shall have whatsoever we say. Although you said, I didn't even know how to even apply for it, you just wrote it down. It's just amazing. Absolutely. Look what God did, and he honored that for you.
You're absolutely right. And that's one of the things. Also, when I was going back and I reviewed my old notes, there were a couple of different things that I wrote down. And you mentioned the power of the word, and absolutely 100% right. I can remember writing down in my notes, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. And there were several other things that came to pass, and I had no idea how the Lord worked those things out. But he dropped them in my spirit. About, as you mentioned, the Bible talks about whatsoever you ask when you pray. And I was praying for a solution. And I believe the Lord had me to write some things down. And sure enough, the Lord was faithful and brought those things to pass. And now, after he brought them to pass, I still had to do the requisite work. The Bible talks about sowing and reaping, which is not just sowing and receiving, but sowing and reaping, which means there's some work involved in bringing in the harvest. And so I had to bring in the harvest of my health by putting some work in. But the Lord ultimately, he opened the door and opened it up, the opportunity for me to get my health back. That's for sure.
Now, we talked about you being a motivational speaker. Now I want to talk to Pete Thomas, the author. You have a brand new book entitled Lose It Fast, Lose It Forever, a 4-step permanent weight loss plan from the most successful biggest loser of all time. Tell us about your book and why did you want to write a book?
I wanted to write a book because I wanted to share with others the principles that I knew would work to help people to not only lose it fast, but to lose it forever. The key to this book is 3/4 of the book is about losing it forever. Because we know people who've lost weight. I have a saying. I say weight loss is a dumb goal. And if you think about it, how many of us have said, well, I want to lose some weight. And we go about and we lose the weight and then we gain it back. And so why do we keep setting that same dumb goal over and over again? So what I teach is instead of saying you want to lose the weight, what you should really do is say, I want to achieve a healthy weight and maintain it for the rest of my life. And by just changing what you say, you change your focus. And what you think about, you bring about. So if you think about long-term health and long-term maintenance, you'll avoid all those fad tricks and diets and all that kind of stuff. And you'll work on what makes a difference. And those are the daily habits. And so as you mentioned, the book is called Lose It Fast, Lose It Forever. I cover the mental side. I cover nutrition and developing a personalized eating plan that will work for every reader in every situation. Then, of course, we talk about the exercise. I call it master your mind, manage your mouth, and multiply your muscles. And so we deal with all three of those areas in the book. And I just think we've gotten great reviews on it, and people are being successful already using it.
That's true, because when you're losing weight, you really do have to manage your mouth. We were watching The Biggest Loser, and one of the girls was saying the other night, she was like, I just can't. And my husband said, well, she's not, because look what she's saying. And that is so true. You got to manage your mouth and manage what you say and manage your thoughts as well. Where can people purchase the book?
They can purchase it anywhere. You can go to PeteThomas.com. My website is PeteThomas.com. There's a link there, but it's available everywhere. It's available at Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million. It's available through Amazon. Any of those retailers should have it. Your local Christian bookstore will probably have it. We've got a great presence in the Christian market. So you should be able to pick it up just about anywhere. Or just go to PeteThomas.com for some links.
Now, I have to ask you this one question before we go. Everyone, when they go on The Biggest Loser, they put you guys in those shorts, and the poor little ladies have the little, workout tops on and shorts. How much do you have to really get out of your mind? Because you're getting ready to go on national television and show the world that you're 401 pounds and show everything. Because as a female, that really takes a lot. I want to talk to a female that's been on the show, because that really do take a lot. Because, some females, we can be vain, we want to look good, but you don't want to show everything, but, until you lose a little weight and you cute dress, but you're literally showing everything except your breasts and, the bottom part. So for you as a male going onto the show, knowing that the world is going to see all 401 pounds, did that bother you, knowing that you were going to go on the show and everybody was going to see that and see what you look like?
I was able to do it through one word, faith. And here's what it is. I had faith that while the whole world was going to look at that 401 pounds and with me having that 60-inch belly, I used to go to Chicago and I would buy, there was a place there that used to sell clothes in my size. And just a few months before going on the show, I went there and bought a 60-inch jacket, an extra long wool coat. So I was a big guy, without a doubt. And all I wore was shorts there on the show. But I had faith that even though the world was going to see this huge before picture, I had faith that there was going to be an amazing after picture. And so for that, it just allowed me to stand up here and say, okay, the Lord's going to see the world rather is going to see this, but then right after this, someone is going to see the after picture, and they're going to be amazed. And so I had faith that the Lord had opened this door and that I would walk through it to the best of my ability, and the after picture would be so much more amazing than the before picture. And sure enough, it worked out just that way.
And your after picture is so much more amazing. than the before picture, I must say. You look great. I mean, I give it to you. So if you all have not seen Pete Thomas, make sure you go to PeteThomas.com so you can see what he looks like. Amazing. And if you want to lose weight, you first got to battle that mind, as he say, the manage that mouth. And then make sure you eat properly. Make sure you pick up the book if you want to lose weight fast, really quickly, and you want to lose it forever. Make sure you pick up Pete Thomas's book. Pete, it was such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Well, thank you, Lady Charmaine. I'm truly blessed to be on. Thank you so much for having me and introducing me to all your readers. I'm sorry, to all your listeners.
You're so welcome.